players with that talent, with that capacity, and with that experience. Of course, and one penalty, one injury, everything can change a game, and you are facing this round like a final. I think that's a point of motivation too for the players, because it's that format with the knockout. It's something special too.
Alright, as we see the players make their way onto the pitch, Thomas Müller there we saw, who's played 112 matches now in the UEFA Champions League for Bayern. Quick prediction from you, Joffrey, scoreline?
Well, I wish like a draw, because I'm not expecting Barcelona win, but let's go for a draw and for penalties to see the keepers. But I'm going for
1-1. Penalties, let's see how many fans are actually hoping for it. It's time to hand over to our match commentators, Jonathan Pierce and Rob Green. But before that, sing along with one of the most recognized football songs, the UEFA Champions League anthem.
Of Luis Suarez, a man back in form. Barcelona, 2 changes from completing their 4-2 round of 16 aggregate win over Napoli. Busquets and Vidal return from suspension. Rakitic and Griezmann drop to the bench. We're told that Vidal will have responsibility for pressing up behind the front 2 against his old club. It's Messi's 23rd quarter-final, a competition record. The side boasts 16 Champions League winners' medals and 200 trophies between them. And they've won the last 3 matches here in Lisbon. Messi awaits then. What a player he has been, and there's still something left in the locker, I'm sure. 4 times he's lifted this great trophy. This time it's Scamino, the referee, who took charge of the second leg of the semi-final in 2013 when Bayern won at the Camp Nou by 3-0 to complete a 4-1 aggregate victory. And the captain of Bayern here, Manuel Neuer, of course. Some change from the 4-1 victory over Chelsea that finished off that 7-1 aggregate demolition. The 18th time they've scored 4 or more this season. 26 wins in their last 27 games. Hansi Flick keeping faith with Perisic, who scored against Chelsea even though Koeman is fit. Müller making a German record 113th appearance in the Champions League proper. And Lewandowski needs 1 goal for 50 in this competition for the club. He scored in every game this season on the run. The side boasts 4 Champions League winners' medals, but 144 trophies between them. And Manchester City or Lyon await the winners across town in the Jose Alvalade Stadium on Wednesday. With me to look at this great game, former England goalkeeper Rob Green. Of what a game it can be. What stars we have here, Rob?
Evening, Jonathan. Yes, hello everyone. It's a fascinating prospect in store, and both teams may have stuck to the formations that are tried and tested in this competition, have gotten this far, but it's a very different feel to this Barcelona team with Vidal sitting behind the front 2, providing assistance to the midfield. Can Messi and Suarez find the space against the high press of this Bayern Munich team? Looking at Bayern, the movement, the combinations, the pace they have in attack, can this Barcelona defence cope with it? There's so many questions all over the pitch, but with so many match winners on both sides, it's going to be a fascinating contest.
They have searing pace, don't they, Bayern Munich? Searing pace.
From all angles, from the back, from the full-backs to Napoli up front, and Müller just holding and picking the holes in pockets in behind and in front of the defence of the opposition. It's going to be a really big ask for this Barcelona team.
Off we go then. Bayern Munich in their all-white strip, picking from right to left in this first half. And an immediate touch for David Alaba, the Austrian international, in the last year of his contract, by the way. It's interesting to see what happens to him in coming months. Boateng pass fit to play. We're up against Chelsea with an off. And it'll be interesting to see if he lasts the 90 minutes. Messi lets it run on. Interesting as well, no Griezmann in the starting lineup. And for Barca to go into a game of this nature without three genuine front three players almost unheard of.
Yeah, and it's the fear of this Bayern Munich team. They know, as we're saying, they know they can be hurt from any angle, all over the pitch, and what they do to counter it is compensate up front.
Julian believes it, and Stegen gets it away. The battle for the German #1 show really beginning to hot up, and the stories now beginning to emerge about Neuer and maybe a move away from Bayern Munich, a club for whom he's played nearly 400 games. Leipzig, rumours about that. They've signed young Nubel, I see, from Schalke. A little touchdown just outside the penalty area by Müller. An interpreter of space, he calls himself. And certainly, Hansi Flick has brought the best out of him since taking over. He was meandering, I think, at Bayern Munich, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think that he's found a new role, reinvented himself as such, and he's provided so many assists this season. He gets criticism for not scoring enough goals, but the assists he provides for this team just shows how important he is. He's someone you'd love to play with, someone at the football that you want in your team.
The ball just given away rather cheaply by Bayern. And here's Lionel Messi. Scored 4 in 4 after just 1 in 7. Back to form, and it's almost put through to Suarez. He is bang in form, I can tell you. Had a knee injury in the early months of this year, but he's come back so strong with 6 goals in 12 close lockdown games.
You saw how high this Bayern Munich defence was then, and that's the only thing that goes against them, is that the space is in behind, but they've got such pace there that they know they can recover.
They may look here to play, bring in the Nelson Semedo, Portuguese international. Loves to push forward on the right-hand side. Sergio Roberto, wearing 20, with an intriguing role again to play tonight. He's had a regular role in the starting lineup, his 7th start in a row, but here come Bayern now on the attack. Müller arriving from a deep position, takes it back from Lewandowski. What a start for the German side! 3 minutes into this quarter-final. It's Barcelona up by minute 1.
Well, it's a huge goal early on in this game, and he's getting criticism for not scoring enough, but it's a wonderful finish from a wonderful move. And it's about the space, exploiting the space. You can see the Barcelona back four, they've stretched across the pitch, and the fullbacks out of position. Semedo high up the pitch, not able to recover. Perisic, clever pass. Müller, a little 1-2 with Lewandowski, and it's not the cleanest of strikes, but it's enough to get it in the corner. He picks out his man out, finds Müller, 1-2, and I tell you what, that's a clever finish. He knows he just needs to feed it in the corner. He knows how to be the goalkeeper, just feeds it in there.
He's asked about the criticism of his scoring record. He points out to the 197 he scored for the club before tonight. That's 198 now. His 3rd in this season's run. And Müller gives Bayern Munich the best possible start on this record-breaking night for him. He goes to 113 appearances in this competition, one ahead of the great Philipp Lahm. I don't use that word very often, but Philipp Lahm was a modern great.
Yeah, it's not a bad player to follow, is he? But it's, you look at the challenge that this Barcelona team have now, and you already see that a lot of the attacking options that they do have is Semedo pushing on, and he provides a great option out wide. But the problem with that is he gets exposed at the back, and Bayern know this, and they can exploit that. They did in such a clinical way.
Word of warning for Bayern Munich fans as we see that one again. Catalan club Barcelona unbeaten in the last 6 games against German clubs. This is far from over, and Hans-Dieter Flick will know that. Winning 2 of their last 8 games against Bundesliga opposition, I should add, outside of Spain. Barca just trying to slow the tempo down a little bit now. And Roberto again involved, and it comes here then to Nelson Semedo. Messi tries to get the ball back going. Stepping across to get the block in was wonderfully talented Alaba, whether it's one of the world's best left backs or, of course, the club level at centre back. Consternation with Perisic. Goretzka had it under control. German Young Player of the Year at age 17 in 2012. It's quite gone and done it really for the senior side. Leon Goretzka. Here's Messi. Lost so many times over so many years. They've looked to Messi for redemption, for heroics, and it could be the same again tonight.
They'll need something, won't they? They'll need something from him this evening. You look at the fractured nature of the end of their season and the fact that they've changed the setup. They just know they're up against strong opposition.
Yes!
He sliced horribly beyond his own goalkeeper, and in 7 minutes we had 2 goals. Barcelona 1, Bayern Munich 1.
Oh, we were talking about the spacing behind Bayern and the way that they can recover. That's anything but recover.
Nice comeback.
And he's just got it all wrong. You look at the body shape, you look at the way he's trying to clear the ball. You know, they're holding a very high line. There's no pressure on the ball at the back. It's a clever first time ball across to Suarez, who's waiting. Alaba knows he has to get back there. It's just that bounce. He just makes that decision and just doesn't get the right contact on it. You're looking at him thinking, tries to try high and wide anywhere but there. And Neuer, 6'5" and can do nothing about that. It's an incredible finish. He gets a touch, not enough on it, but that's the threat for Bayern that they have when they hold such a high line.
Would have been a brilliant striker's finish, but it came from the Bayern Munich centre back beyond his own goalkeeper. A player who's always said he's living the dream. At the moment, having a little bit of a nightmare. The Champions League winner of 2013 with David Alaba. How will he be coming months? But he needs to just get himself focused again now. They need to settle and score. Bayern Munich. What I've noticed though, Rob, is how hungry Suarez seems to be for Barcelona.
Yeah, I think they know they just have to work so hard to form any sort of pressure because there's an outball all over the pitch for this Bayern side, and they are obviously own goals. There's an exception. They are so good on the ball.
Gnabry couldn't get beyond Semedo. Gnabry with his 4 goals against Tottenham, you remember 2 against Chelsea, has left his mark on this competition already. In this unique and long and winding road of a 2019-20 season. Some leagues have already kicked off their 2021 campaigns. Semedo, Messi, perfect weight, the flicked pass back to Semedo. He's been allowed to carry quite a while here in the space on the left-hand side. And he's pushing through to Suarez. Manuel Neuer makes a big save.
Huge save that.
What a chance.
Conceding, you don't want to concede again. It's such an open game here. Semedo cuts it inside. Clever ball through the legs. Neuer comes up, knows he's not going to beat Suarez at all. Just stands up, makes himself big, uses his presence, makes Suarez hit him. It's a big save.
A big goalkeeper with huge experience, and he's going to be asked.
Oh!
Busquets came in, didn't make any sort of
Shit!
contact with the ball. Flummoxed the goalkeeper, the entire Bayern Munich defence hit the woodwork.
Well, there are 6s and 7s here, Bayern. They're all over the place. They're frozen there. The ball comes in, they leave it. Neuer leaves it for the defence. The defence don't react. And it just needs a touch from one of the Bayern players. It doesn't happen. It's such a wonderful ball in. As they say, aim for that far post. It's such an uncertain area for goalkeepers, and that, I mean, it's inches away from the goal.
Well, if these 10 minutes have been the hors d'oeuvre,
Messi, what a cross.
to serve up.
What a cross, Messi, what a cross.
It's a free header, isn't it? And it just needs the faintest of touches, doesn't get enough anything on it. But you look at the Bayern defence, and they froze. They're the team that are in shock here. You're thinking that Barcelona, after conceding so early, would struggle, but actually Bayern now look on the ropes.
He's just been crowned Liga top scorer for the 7th time in the 4th season in a row. Lionel Messi nearly got there. His 635th goal for his club. Again, will he be at Barca next season?
Whoa, 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 Suarez.
Defense again as Suarez sets off after it. This time, I want the chase, but Suarez at the moment, his movement is too much for that Bayern defence. That's a free kick conceded by Messi. And well, I would suggest here, if that was any other player on the planet, apart from Lionel Messi, they've got a yellow card.
Well, his arms go up immediately afterwards. He knew what he was doing. He sprinted back 20-25 yards, and I'll tell you what he doesn't want to do is sprint back another 20 yards. So he thought he's taking one for the team here, and as you were saying, I think the arms raised immediately. He knows he's guilty. I think he's got away with them.
Could have been Arturo Vidal then for the challenge. Or Thiago, the Bayern Munich side. And there would have been a yellow. I think Thomas Muller is probably making exactly that decision. Wow. Time for a breather. 11 minutes gone. It's been sensational so far.
Just look how open both sides are. They know how to expose each other. They know that the fullbacks are going to push on. You know where the space is when you receive the ball. And to exploit that in such a clinical way, and yes, it's one of them's own goal. The ball was there. The opportunity was there.
Muller in space. A lovely ball away, brings in Alfonso Davis, and that's a wicked and tempting and teasing cross. And it took a good piece of defending to get it away.
That's a great header from Lenglet. He knew that Ter Stegen has changed his mind. It's a wonderful ball. He's in between the goalkeepers, Ter Stegen and Lenglet. He's just made sure.
Nice save by Lenglet.
Do at the other end. Good, clean contact. Get it away from high and wide.
A good Champions League and ever pressing trouble along there. Looks like gone to the near post, gone away for another corner kick. No, it's just a goal kick this time. Sergio Roberto hit his part there. Each time the team comes forward, rather than capable of scoring here.
Yeah, they're both defending narrow, they're both defending with the fullbacks high, and the opportunity's there. It's just whether they take them or not.
It's really been cleared very well.
Oh.
He hasn't missed many this season.
It's a wonderful header from Muller, isn't it? But it's a difficult opportunity. It's just one that's a little bit too high for Lewandowski. This Ter Stegen playing out from the back. They love to play through the press. You can see how many players are there. It's a great header across the sand. He just can't get over the ball, and it's a painful end to a difficult chance.
23 goals in 19 games in 2010-2020 for Robert Lewandowski. Scored in his last 8 matches in all competitions. 13 in this incredible Champions League run. Still 4 off the best ever campaign. Here's Muller. For him again. 2 of them with great understanding. Bounces away, Goretzka was arriving. Frankie de Jong played out. Suarez has stayed down. He's going to have a look. He's okay. We go. The gentle header back. Neatly done. Highly experienced Gerard Piqué, a Champions League winner on 4 occasions. It's being played at breakneck pace as well. So which is in the stadium just before kickoff around about
Counter attack.
75, 76 Fahrenheit. Here's Vidal. Used to say of him in the Valverde days. Valverde used to say of him, he creates positive chaos. Vidal. There he is again. Young Frankie de Jong with a wonderful run. Ajax last season. Curiously, they went on the defensive in the second leg against Spurs. No one quite understood why in the last 20 minutes or so they went out. Piqué. There first.
Look at this Barcelona team, they've just been caught out again there, and you're saying, why? They've had so much joy from playing the ball through this back four or five. You just look to do it a little bit deeper. Start a little bit deeper. They've been caught out twice now trying to play out on the back. Just go forward a little bit earlier.
1-1, breathtaking stuff. The Barcelona squad, 18% of the total value of La Liga. Bayern Munich squad, just under $1 billion, nearly 25% of the total value of every Bundesliga squad.
Oh, nice pass.
They have riches, they have stars. They were placed in the semi-finals. Here's Davis. prospect he is. He's still only 19, Canadian. A bit of pressure there. Alamo got it away. Sergio Roberto. Again. That was Barcelona president many years ago. Vidal, seated by Davis.
Just gave him a little temperature of the ball there. Vidal got his body across, took a free kick and slowed the game down a little. Cap a breather because it's been a breathtaking start for everybody.
Questioning look by Kike Setien, the coach of Barcelona, was a decent midfielder in his days. Tall and elegant, he played for Spain, went to the World Cup finals in '86, stayed on the bench over there. He was a very controversial choice as Barcelona manager in January. Dion, under pressure, look at that, immediately they pound him. Win the ball back high, Goretzka. To the feet there of Gnabry. He's got some attacking threat, he's a good player. They've got some terrific midfield players, Croatia.
The options that they have, there's no wonder they're near the top of the world rankings and had such a good World Cup, but they've dressed so well, this Bayern side. You look at Barcelona trying to play through that West system, just
Corner hooks away, looking for Barisic from behind him, arriving with the head of the sailed over was Goretzka. Didn't keep the ball down, has 8 goals from midfield this season, only one in this competition. We're talking about the favourites for the Champions League in 2020. Manchester City, the bookies' favourites in the UK. Many people say Bayern Munich are the strongest team that did it. 1-1 at the moment, but that's on the way there off Busquets. It's another corner kick.
well, it comes from another Bayern Munich goal kick. Look at it, it's to Stegen playing the ball to Piqué, who gives it back to him a yard. It's 2 1-yard passes. They're just inviting the pressure. That's what comes.
Another early corner kick then to Bayern Munich. Back here to Thiago. The second cross dealt with by Suarez. Long into the 6-yard area. Goretzka rose again. He's defending on this occasion. Piqué crowding him out.
There's a big strong man there, and he's needed all of his neck muscles, all his strength to get a good header away. Positions himself so well, knows where the danger is, stays in the middle of the goal.
But trying to get away from his man. Good strong punch away by Andre ter Stegen. He has just a couple of appearances for Germany this season. He's still second fiddle to Neuer, but he wants to be higher up the ratings. Good decision making here by Escalina. So look at it again. De Jong was caught by Joshua Kimmich.
Just makes us a touch as he knew if he got there first, he'd get the free kick because he was going out for a throw-in, and it's something that in modern football, that's what happens. You get there first, slightest of nick, you win the free kick.
The valuation of players has gone down during the COVID pandemic, but Kimmich's virtually doubled. Talent he is. Pull back. Was a defensive midfield player until Pep Guardiola got hold of him. Lewandowski. By Semedo. When you see the battle for the German goalkeepers ending up this season, or as we move on to the European Championships and so on?
Yeah, it is a big question, but it's not often you have a goalkeeper at Barcelona.
Go, Messi, go.
Not the nation's number
Go!
Here's Messi, lovely dribble.
Messi!
He got there, shimmying run. A little bit like Neymar the other night for PSG, did all the hard work, no finish.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of his goal against Napoli in the previous round as well. And you know, as a team, that's the danger zone. That's where you don't want Messi. This Bayern Munich team just got to get the numbers inside to show him onto his right foot, to show something different, to show how clinical he can be.
Well, your picture there, he has one of his biggest fans. Alphonso Davies, the Bayern Munich left back. His idol in the game is Leo Messi. He's joking about it right there with a telephone call to his dad. Born in a Ghanaian refugee camp to Liberian parents, and they fled to Canada when he was just 5, Davis, and some find, I can tell you, for £10 million.
Saying about Kimmich and Davis now, and what they do, they profile these young players, profile them.
This is the chance here now, and it's
Oh shit.
allowed too much space, and he drives it in for Bayern Munich, second of the game. 21 minutes gone, and they lead once more. And the coach kept him in the side that no one will speak again. And Perisic rewarding his manager's faith with his third in this run. He scored against Chelsea last week. He scores again here.
Well, it was his cross for the first goal, and it's his finish for the second goal, and it's the press from Bayern high up the pitch again. And they know where the space is, they know Semedo's out of possession. It's a strong finish to Stegen, stands up as his near post, backs himself to save it, goes with his foot just because of the pace, but also the accuracy is just too far away from him. It's a strong finish, it's a wonderful finish. It's a little touch there of one of the defenders, I think, and he's Clement Langley, who's had the touch, which maybe taking it over to Stegen's foot. But again, that Bayern press and Perisic exploiting that space again.
Well, for the moment, Müller got the earliest Champions League quarter-final goal since Kimmich scored after 3 minutes in 2017-2018. Also for Bayern against Real Madrid, we knew we had a game of special quality on our hands here today. They need to come back again. Alba with a crossing, looking Vidal. Still can't see the benefit at the moment of Vidal into header, please.
No, and it is. I mean, the difficulty is, or the problem is you see the replay again, you see the press there, it's a good ball from Gnabry, and Lewandowski's there waiting, isn't he? He wants another goal, but both goals have come from, the goals have come in from the space that's created, and them exploiting the space. Now, if you're going to go with a defensive option, then don't give them the space, so they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot despite the choices that they have made.
Longley is there for Barcelona. First stayed down. Stopping things, had a little look. See if the ball was okay. Free kick was given and taken quickly anyway. Here's Messi now for Barcelona. Next goal in this game. Absolutely huge. Absolutely huge.
You look at the chances, sorry, Jonathan, you look at the chances now of Messi and of Suarez, and they were huge chances in the context of the game to say, you know, those are the best chances of the game, they never lose it.
Again, they haven't cleared their lines, Barcelona, inviting pressure back on them. With a nudge pass by Thiago, for the Barcelona player. He's got it back in and go for goal. He's always drifting away from the player who hasn't scored many in his career, came to La Masia, new team ranks at Barca.
He got that one all wrong, didn't he? His body shape, his angle, his approach to the ball. He didn't really look like he wanted to hit it. But again, Barcelona are sticking with this, playing out from the back. Finally, they look to go a bit longer, but they're playing themselves into trouble too many times.
Wonderfully open quarter-final in the 25th minute. It's flown by Frenkie de Jong. Touch back by Vidal. Here's Messi. He's free to Roberto. Dangerous low cross in the middle. Scuffed away again. They've already scored one own goal. Boateng was close to another.
But Davis staying narrow. He knows the threat of this front two, this front three of Barcelona. He knows the threat is narrow. He allows the ball to go out wide and for them to trust the other defenders to deal with the cross. They do so. But again, this Barcelona team, when they do get the ball and they get it up the pitch, they're causing Bayern problems because they're holding the line so high.
Approaching the 25-minute, Messi with the corner kick. Centre-backs are up there. It's a good one from him, actually. It's eased away. The Bayern defence can't
Oh.
set the ball though. So aimed at Longley and stayed in there.
Again, Bayern
good chance,
kick
good
earlier,
chance.
and it's a ball in it. You see them defending. It's just enough of a reaction.
customers of Manchester City and that Leon will be watching this with a keen interest. Messi, dangerous ball into the
Oh!
They had it just wide. Lovely was away to the PK, got in front of him. Wasn't far off target, wouldn't have counted anyway.
We've seen this time and time again already, and this Piqué just drifting into an offside position, but into an offside position. But it's just, you're looking at it, and Barcelona just get the ball to Messi out wide, just get him back onto his left foot, get crosses in, because this Bayern defence are struggling.
Barcelona behind in their 24th Champions League campaign. The competition record they share with Real Madrid reached the last 16. Or better, 16 seasons. And behind is Perisic. It's just touched away in the document. Managed to
What a save by Castegan.
and it pushed the cross dangerously into open play.
What a save.
And they come again, Bayern Munich. And they look so dangerous when they do come forward. Alaba has it. Davis. Now Thiago. Goretzka. Tiny football by Bayern. Short in the tempo of things. Here's Thiago once again. On this competition at Barca. And they score again, Bayern Munich. Gnabry. Once again, Barca absolutely cut one open. And they have a 2-goal buffer. 4 goals in the opening 27 minutes. And Serge Gnabry's wonderful Champions League run continues. That's 7 for him this season in the competition.
A wonderful goal, a wonderful finish, a wonderful movement. It's Gnabry's movement, it's the combinations we were talking about before the game. It's Thiago looking in, and there's Muller in that hole, just finds the pockets, and he just drops over the shoulder of Cameron, and it's lovely, and it's a wonderful moment for him, because he knows if he could just wait long enough, he just see the bounce, he knows he's got the right side of him, he waits for it to drop, has the patience, but it's a low clinical finish. But again, Muller, we talked about him getting in those pockets, providing the assist. It's what Bayern do, and that movement, it's so hard to come against.
2 goals in 6 minutes, and they're 3-1 up now. Gnabry, that's his 21st of a very good season. We didn't see this player when he was an Arsenal kid or when he went out briefly on loan to West Bromwich Albion. Been a good player, Thiago, over the years. Could leave this window, they say. And then move back to Spain. Swings the corner, well met on that occasion, though, by Boateng. It's a lot of who presses. They get players up to press so very, very quickly. Sergio Roberto now for Barcelona. 4-1 down.
It's not just them pressing, it's how they press, it's the intent that they have, and when they go, they decide the player they're going to pick on. And you know, you said before it was Busquets, he sense the opportunity of when the moment is to nick the ball, get the ball. And Barcelona are so exposed in these opportunities.
Muller and then Lewandowski, I think they came across it, but they haven't travelled well, particularly this season outside of Barcelona. Find a way, lead defeats, crossing the tide, but they're heading towards their heaviest defeat of the season. Barcelona could end up without a trophy for the first time since 2014.
I think that you look at this Barcelona side and you look at it, the noises being made out of the camp, out of the club.
Please guys, subscribe our channel.
Things are not happy, people are not happy, Messi is not happy, and it may need wholesale changes, and a result like this, if it stays the same, can only emphasise that.
Semedo looks for the give and go with Suarez. Under pressure, put his toe onto it.
That's good defending there. Track the runner, Semedo, and just gets body side, gets God side of it, makes an important tackle. And you know, that's the sort of thing that you have as athletic defenders. You have that opportunity to get back, to track back with the runners. And you look at this Barcelona back four, and it just doesn't look like they have that against the Bayern athleticism and speed.
It's been popular so far. It's been at the Ponting Stadium, the Barcelona at the 25. He's just equalled Franck Ribéry's record of 9 Bundesliga titles. This international perfection is under real pressure again, and he's flustered, and it's given away again so cheaply. And this time it's a bending effort from Perisic, who acknowledges he might just have left it for his teammate.
It's to Stegen again, he's looking to play out, they're desperate to play out through this press. How many times do they have to get it wrong in one half of football to realise it's not working? I don't know, but you look at that, you look at Stegen, he's desperate for a pass, and sometimes you just got to put your foot through it.
But can the Barcelona side go long? Well, it's not their nature, is it?
No, but you know, this is the modern day football. We don't need plan B because plan A is good enough. Well, sometimes it's not. And sometimes you're going to get exposed, and that's where you need players on the pitch who recognise it and say, we're just going to have to bite the bullet for 5-10 minutes. I'll tell you what, at 4-1 now, now's the time to bite the bullet and get in at half-time without conceding another.
Okay, Setien could face a bullet soon if they don't turn this around. It's got a contract to June 2022. We wouldn't put a price on him staying in the job. Free kick here though, little nudge to the ball. In the end, this sliding challenge got Messi to shore that was.
You're asking about the goalkeepers, and you look at it and saying to Stegen's the modern day goalkeeper playing out from the back tonight. I know I keep on going on about it, but you've got to look at it and you've got to look at your options as a goalkeeper. Not only what your passes, but what your teammates' passes. And a number of times he's put players under pressure with his pass.
Davis, look at this space for the Bayern. Left full back. Lewandowski on the edge of the box. Muller made a great run in there, and he's on the hat trick, let's not forget. Goretzka. Kimmich, will give and go. Back to it by Gnabry. Again, incisive. The cross was forced away by a befuddled looking long lady. Didn't know which way to turn, but he got something on it.
Well, if you're a PK here, you'd be saying to Semedo, come and sit tight with me, stop bombing up the pitch, because you know, long lay there, he hits him on the arm rather than it being handball. There's not a lot I can do about that. But you know, this back four of Barcelona have been strung all over the pitch and torn apart.
Out shoots the corner. Lewandowski climbs. He climbed and he hopped, and it was straight in the goal.
Got up well, but was on his way down when he made the header. That takes all the power out of it, and I think Ter Stegen's just pleased to be able to catch one and just kill the game for a moment, because every time they go forward behind it, they look so through.
Really holds the club's Champions League scoring record of 49. Lewandowski won for 50. 53 goals this season. I thought, as I was doing my prep for the game, I thought, surely that's the highest scoring season ever in Bayern Munich's history. Get Müller scored 67 in 1972-73.
Not even close.
The player he was, Müller. But push there. Suarez and Vidal wants to take the free kick. Not too quickly for Messi. Kimmich. Foul. Vidal. Is it Neuer? Winner. Young Kimmich.
Look at that Bayern side, and they know with Neuer in behind, they've got one of the most advanced goalkeepers in the world, loves to sweep the ball. So no matter how high they are, they've got the pace to recover, but they've also got Neuer prowling 20 yards out, ready to collect any balls.
Why there is this question about his future? He's got a couple of years left on his, 3 years left on his contract actually. Joachim Löw, the German international manager, saying that he's good enough to play as a midfielder in the Bundesliga. Now, I sometimes think that he leaves his own publicity, mind you.
He also plays like that as well, times it.
Semedo, next to the return, he's broken free here of Davis. And the early ball a little bit too high. Suarez didn't look very dangerous, said anyway. It was a promising Barcelona start for 4 minutes.
It's just been wave after wave of relentless pressure and attack. And it's not just Barcelona who struggled to deal with this season. You talked before the game about the number of successive wins they had after the restart. And it wasn't until the end of the season it looked so clear-cut in the Bundesliga, because when they restarted, the question marks were still there whether they win the league, but they've just taken it to another level.
Gattuso, the Italian midfielder, was talking in the game against Napoli last week. He said he didn't recognise this Barcelona, the one he played against when they pressed superbly, because this Barcelona team seem to know how to press at the moment. They're certainly being battled at there. I mentioned Goretzka hasn't gone on to perhaps do what he should have done at international. He's got a star for Hansi Flick tonight. Goretzka's won virtually everything in there. It's just searching now.
I think that Goretzka is one of them players that's got a real engine, gets up and down the pitch, and as we were talking about Müller before being a player that you'd love to play with, he does a lot of the work that you don't see, provides that engine room for this side, picking up a lot of balls and creating those runs.
Suarez has gone back to quickly, faces up there, and he's fouled. It's going to be a card for Bartek. He's been fairly patient with his cards.
Taking one for the team there, Boateng. He knew, realised that Thiago's lost the ball. He had options here, Suarez. The one thing he wasn't going to allow him to do was get a run on goal. And just decided, I'll tell you what, I'm going to foul him higher up the pitch rather than back towards me on goal.
It was by Thiago as well. This control by the former Barca player who won 4 titles, the Champions League and the World Cup Championship when he was at the Nou Camp. Missed the one game in this run for Bayern Munich so far as Thiago and here Goretzka have been huge for Bayern Munich in this first half. The back heel by Vidal to send Jordi Alba away. Players that won the competition back in 2015. They've got more success in this starting lineup for Bayern Munich than against second best today. Can they get back into the game before half time as they look for Suarez there?
Well, Goretzka, that's what he brings to the team. He recognises the danger, he sees the Boateng's in that position, gets back and clears the ball, and you're looking for energy, you're looking for recovery runs. That's what this Barcelona team haven't got, and what Bayern have.
Bayern again, Moses footing Davis. Thiago, acres of space, pulling the strings. Mixes parts at will. Not towards Kimmich. It's another no-look pass by Müller around the corner. And, a chance here now. Arsenal do something on the counter. Frankie de Jong hasn't really been in the game. He's a very young man out there tonight. 23-year-old. Busquets, Messi.
Really look there, Jonathan, when Frank de Jong did break, it was Müller closing him down at the back, getting them yards, and we're talking about being able to recover, using your athleticism, using your engines in the team, and that's what no one repeats myself, but I do that, they do it so well.
I thought that win at Chelsea 3-0 was the best performance by any team in Europe this season. A little bit of pressure here from Suarez's shot. But this performance in the opening 45 minutes tonight from Bayern Munich has been outstanding.
But it's simply blown them away, hasn't it? I mean, you look at the chance of Suarez was a big chance that Neuer saved, and Messi had a little bit of an opening, but there's nothing of great note. And again, but you look time after time, Bayern just doing what they can do, know that there's movement, and knowing that the fullbacks pushing on Kimmich and Davies being able to run in behind, they're just not going to live with them.
Foul by Vidal on Kimmich. To approach stoppage time at the end of this first half. And on bending cross from Messi. Not struck the post, we might have had a different story. We have no stoppage time. What we have had is a blistering opening 45 minutes. Bruno with the early strike against Setien's befuddled Barcelona. Messi did for the all-experienced like the Vidal. Not good enough. Alaba struck into his own goal to make it 1-1. Then Perisic, Gnabry and Müller again. And it's Bayern Munich very much in the driving seat here in this quarter-final as they go to the break. 4-1 up.
Okay. Bayern Italy. Barcelona.
This match is brought to you by Blaze, UEFA Champions League sponsors.
Guys, please subscribe our channel.
इंडिया को चाय कॉफी तो मिल्की ही पसंद है, इसीलिए अमूल का अमूल्य, जिसमें है कम शक्कर, ज्यादा दूध।
For live match and highlights.
Where there is life,
After the match,
there is hope, there is meaning. But life has its downs as much as its ups. Life is about challenges. Life is about opportunities. Time for joy, time for celebration, and time to introspect. Thankfully, in every one of life's moments, and even beyond life itself, there's LIC. Where there is life, there's always LIC. जिंदगी के साथ भी, जिंदगी के बाद भी.
कभी रेस्टोरेंट में आपके साथ ऐसा हुआ है कि आपने मंगाया वो पिज्जा और मिला पराठा? मेरे साथ हुआ है। मैंने मंगाया था चीज और चीज कंपनी ने दिया झूठा चीज, इसमें वेजिटेबल ऑयल डालता है। वेजिटेबल ऑयल, ये क्या हमारे सर का ताज है? इसे उछालने की कोशिश न करें।
रियल चीज बनता है प्योर मिल्क से, ना कि वेजिटेबल ऑयल से। अमूल चीज, इंडिया का 100% मिल्क चीज।
बियर्ड स्टाइलिंग आसान होती अगर ज्यादा हाथ हो, पर ये पॉसिबल कहा, इसीलिए फिलिप्स वन ब्लेड। It's a revolution. One blade styles, trims, shaves. Join the one blade revolution. New Philips One Blade. There's always a way to make life better. Innovation and you, Philips.
It's a sweet world. Make it sweeter with Amul Mithai Mate.
Champions across all race conditions. The TVS Avenger RTR series with race-tuned fuel injection. Performance evolution. RTR revolution. Racing DNA unleashed.
जोश जगाएगा आज क्या नया कर जाएगा आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल पीता है इंडिया अमूल पीता है इंडिया only if you dare
Powered by Extreme Night Vision with X50 series. Photography redefined. Viva. 3 years of freedom and adventure. 3 years of memories that will stay with us forever. 3 years of inspiring people to go out and find their own way. 3 years of a brotherhood that's growing every day. 3 years of an absolutely amazing journey. But it's only been 3 years. Here's to many more years of living the Jeep life. Here's to living the Jeep life with you. Introducing the 3rd anniversary limited edition Jeep Compass Night Eagle.
Halftime score that not many would have predicted, but whenever these two times meet in the UEFA Champions League, there are bound to be goals. Just no one expected so many for Bayern Munich. 4-1 for the Germans at halftime. The halftime whistle couldn't come quickly enough for the Bayern players and their fans as well. If you talk about the highlights, we would probably have to show you the entire 45 minutes again, but we have very short time here. Let's talk about what happened in that first half. It was literally a blitz from both sides. Actually, it looked like in the first 10 minutes it was going to be an epic battle, but quickly became one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was start. 3 minutes, Muller there, combination play there, gets a bit fortunate for the finish, like drives it into the ground and that going through bodies kind of, blocks the view of Ter Stegen, and then, this own goal, Albert, he did have to get something on it, but obviously the high line of Bayern Munich that we mentioned before the game, being exploited by Barcelona, and if Albert hadn't got a touch on that, Suarez would have finished. And obviously Bayern Munich with a high press, win the ball in a dangerous area, and then finish it off with a slight deflection, say there from Perisic.
Jofra, it can't make for pleasant viewing, but if you could point one finger at what's gone wrong for Barcelona, what would you say?
Well, actually, Bayern faces all the game in the same way, and I think they studied very well how to press Barcelona. They are putting all the team in the opposite side of the half field, and they know that they have no risk in terms of Barcelona running fast, in the breakdowns in their back. So that pressure gives a lot of advantage, and of course they are in a good speed. So it's just showing that one team is much better now than the other.
Now, when we talk about Bayern Munich, we mentioned Lewandowski, we mentioned Alphonso Davies, we spoke about the keeper as well. Of course, we talk about other players, Gnabry pitching in, Perisic as well, Muller, who's now the record holder in terms of appearances in the UEFA Champions League as well, actually, with the praise.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Muller has been fantastic. You have to say all of them are. It's just showing you how to play this
4-2-3-1 you've got, but really efficient, and that's what you get with a German side. You know, they're athletic, they're quick, they look really hungry. Certainly when they're pressing Barcelona in Barcelona's defensive third, they're winning the ball back numerous times in dangerous areas, and just all over the pitch. They just seem to be all on top of the game. Ganabi as well, obviously got himself a goal, getting into those pockets of space. But it's all about the press for me. Barcelona are playing into their hands. They're still continuing to try and play out from the back, although they're getting swamped and, you know, harried and pressed, hustled by Bayern Munich, and just keep playing into their hands.
Right. It is really bad for Barcelona right now and their fans, obviously. Like we said, we could have shown you the entire 45 minutes as a highlights package. There's been so much action. Unfortunately for the Spanish team, it's mostly gone Bayern Munich's way. Let's see what Kike Setien can change in the second half after this very short break.
दादी कहती थी दूध पीने का बच्चा नहीं तो अंदर से रह जाएगा कच्चा आसानी से बीमारी पास न आए ठंडा या गैस पे चढ़ाए किसी भी चीज में मिलाए कोई भी ढंग हो बस दूर हो जाए
Where there is life, there is hope, there is meaning. But life has its downs as much as its ups. Life is about challenges. Life is about opportunities. Time for joy, time for celebration, and time to introspect. Thankfully, in every one of life's moments, and even beyond life itself, there's LIC. Where there's life, there's always LIC. जिंदगी के साथ भी, जिंदगी के बाद भी.
Dites-moi pourquoi ma vie est belle et pourquoi mon cœur chante quand on me touche, quand on m'aime, je me sens, je me sens.
Amul probiotic frozen yogurt works from within. Be good to yourself. Amul probiotic frozen yogurt.
It's the NBA playoffs. And this year, everything has changed. As the whole world cheers from home, anything can happen. Get ready for the NBA's best. Competing like we've never seen before. For a chance to win it all. It's a whole new game. Watch the NBA playoffs live. Here comes the legend killer, Randy Orton. The most dangerous man in sports entertainment today. Randy Orton is coming for the WWE Championship. I have a whole bunch of receipts to cash in. The passion and desire of Drew McIntyre. I don't see a leader standing before me. I see a selfish SummerSlam. I'm going to rip off your head. The sadistic legend killer. Orton and McIntyre for the WWE Championship. You will never see it
Welcome back. Bayern Munich would be really raring to go yet again. They wouldn't have wanted the first half to end the way they were playing. Jofra, what's going to change in the second half for Barcelona?
Well, I guess with Antoine Griezmann, we are moving one step in front, trying to at least put the Bayern defense in that alarm, and with one player running, one player, trying to take that back, not only the backs, Alba and Semedo, wing backs, and we'll see if they can just make more combination in terms on how to from Ter Stegen, don't too many risk and just to start from the beginning with more a little more secure.
All the scoreline predictions before this match obviously gone for a toss. One of the most surprising things apart from this current scoreline, actually, Lewandowski hasn't scored.
I know, yeah, very strange. And the way he's going, you'd expect him to score. Certainly, Barcelona keep trying to play out from the back and falling into the pressure traps of Bayern Munich. But it's been a fantastic game so far. Great performance by Bayern Munich. Let's hope the second half lives up to the first.
Yep. Robert Lewandowski needing just one more goal to reach 50 in the UEFA Champions League with Bayern. And if there's one match he can get it is this one. Let's see what Barcelona can do in the second half.
You look at this Bayern Munich team and they're just such a well-oiled machine. They're so clinical, they're so efficient. They know when to press, they know how to exploit the weaknesses of this opposition. And if Barcelona continue and stay headstrong with this playing out from the back, you look at it and say, you can bring on your pieces, you can do what you like, but it's going to be ineffective against this team. I think this is a throw of the dice that they have to make. They have to score goals, but again, they're just getting pressed throughout the pitch.
Antoine Griezmann has come on for Sergio Roberto. That's one change they have made. A few eyebrows raised when the hugely expensive striker didn't start. £120 million signing last July from Atletico Madrid. Wasn't had the greatest of seasons, but he's on now. Striker for a midfield black. We go in the second half here in the Stadium of Lights where Bayern Munich have been simply dazzled. They're kicking from left to right in their all-white kit. They are 4-1 up. When they demolished Barca 4-0 on the way to the Bayern in 2013, 3 of those goals came in the second half. Tonight they hit the Catalans for 4 inside 31 minutes, and it really doesn't look as if they are finished yet. So look for Lewandowski, who might have had a couple himself. Hasn't got the back of the net.
You're looking at Vidal now, he's staying high, is in a 3 just behind Suarez. Vidal, Messi and Griezmann as a 3 almost in behind it. Now what that does is leave spaces in behind them, so you fear for them at the same time because they've got to go for it, they've got to get goals.
Graham Hunter is a journalist, very respected globally. He covers Barcelona. He's based in Spain, and beforehand he wrote on the UEFA website, a Barca side without a recognised front 3 in Europe would bring not just unhappiness, but bring protests, and there will be severe questioning in this Barca performance in Catalonia. Unless they can pull off a miracle. It's Barca in recent seasons who let 3-goal leads slip. Now they have to come back from a 3-goal deficit, and Rakitic warming up there. What a brilliant player he's been over the years.
You think of that wonderful Liverpool comeback at Anfield from 3 goals down. That's what I think, you had the home crowd, you had the opportunity, another 90 minutes to do it. Whereas now he's in an empty stadium and you've got 45 minutes to do it. It's going to be such a tour.
Douglas plays out. Suarez coming deep to pick it up. Looks for Jordi Alba to pass it. Throw.
Again, you look at the runs of Napoli in there, and Semedo just getting enough, but it's these clever runs, and they know when to play the ball. The time is there. This time it's Konichi. You're looking at the options, and Napoli scoring that goal in the first half, and Goretzka flicking it off. Those are the runs that they make. They're so incisive, so difficult to mark.
Barca against Roma as well a couple of years ago, you remember that? 4-1 up from home, they lost 3-0 away at this stage of the competition. They've got to turn it round the other way here now. Vida. Piqué. Nelson Semedo. Over Serge Gnabry. He's gone well and has played well as every Bayern Munich player has. Thiago. Goretzka. Been magnificent. Alaba, whose own goal gave Barcelona some hope, made it 1-1 in the opening 7 minutes. And over the top they go. They try and put Muller in behind. Coming a bit of ball is Perisic. And straight at Ter Stegen.
It's a brilliant ball for Neuer, and that's the difference between the two teams. The goalkeeper gets the ball, and he knows that if Barcelona press, they can get behind, and it's one ball straight through. It's a good strike, but it's straight at Ter Stegen. But you're looking at differences between the two teams. The multi-dimensional nature of this Bayern side, they can break from one into the other. See the strike, Ter Stegen getting his body in behind, big barrier, but again, that's the threat when you press this Bayern side.
We're seeing a changing of the guard. It's 13 years since Spain didn't have a representative in the last 4. We talked about the end of an era for Real Madrid already out of the competition, of course. We talked about the end of an era for Juve out of the competition before it hit this stage, beaten by Lyon. And now we're looking at the end of an era for Barcelona of Messi and Piqué. It's De Jong, part of their future. Through to Griezmann. There's been criticism of the French World Cup, the new Spanish man there.
Gives it away there, a bit of frustration already from Griezmann, leaving his leg in, but it was a big price for him, big expectations for him this season. He's not met them, but they're talking about fallout maybe from this Barcelona team. There's going to be questions asked.
Perisic. Thiago. Getting slows the ball around the corner. Let it back to Kimmich into the penalty area. And marked by Goretzka. One makes the run forward, another one holds back. They interchange. The movement is fluid and destructive, but over that time.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Muller just coming back in, falling back into that pocket. And he drags the players with him, and Goretzka recognises the gap, goes, gets the strike wrong, but again, the opportunity's there.
Suarez goes down, made a bit of a meal of it, there was contact. Alaba against the yellow card. Vidal went down, I beg your pardon. 5 minutes gone in the second half. And that's when he went down. Challenged by Davis, it may well have been Davis who got the yellow. See if we can get a confirmation of that for you. Good 2 then.
He's not made his mind up, has he?
Davis and Alaba, the men in question. That was for the fire one, so Davis is cautioned and I'm pretty sure Alaba was cautioned as well. Septième. That's the question of the fourth official. Suarez always asks questions of any official. This is where he went down, out of his hand, put around the throat. 40 up. Barcelona get back into the tie. Referee markedly unhappy. Benz, looking for Suarez. Made out timely, now Rick. Here come the Bayern cavalry. They've got a man over here on the right hand side. Perisic has made a great run. Lewandowski's held on to it. And And in the end, he ran it into a blind alley, but it's broken into Müller. Lewandowski, it's fine. Inevitably, he gets his goal. But the referee's chipping and sees the flag. And it will not be a 50th Bayern Munich Champions League goal for Lewandowski.
Well, he had options there. You can see him breaking. Müller makes the run. Perisic was asking for it from the whole of the Barcelona half. Just comes to him, makes the wrong choice, breaks back. Müller in an offside position. He's thinking, I should have shot, I should have played it. Just didn't make his mind up early enough.
Deflection carried it through the Müller, didn't it?
Yeah, I think that playing the ball initially, he's in an offside position.
Well, a confirmation that Davis was certainly cautioned. See them. Around these 2 yellows. There's a big one here for Suarez. Things are getting a bit testy.
Things threatening to boil over here, I think. Frustrations, the tiredness, and if one team realising there's so little they can do to get themselves back in this team, and the threat of this Bayern side is too much for them. So, yeah, you look at it, and Suarez plays on the edge. He's one of them players who's always an attritional, grinding player when you play against him, and likely to boil over.
A cynical trip. He gets a caution for his pains. It's the former Liverpool centre forward. With their Champions League winning side. And 2015. Barcelona. 35 minutes, a little bit more to score 3 goals. Keep the tie alive. Semedo. Suarez can't play a role. Cortez header was lackadaisical, and it's a corner kick as a result. Sloppy there.
Yeah, I think they were waiting for Neuer to come out for it a little bit. Hugo Vigo, as they say, it is one that's looking at each other to play, looking for Neuer, but Neuer was uncharacteristically deep from playing the ball up. So the Bayern defenders look at each other's play and just got themselves in a bit of a muddle. So an opportunity for Barcelona maybe to get themselves back into the game.
Certainly open things up. Reach backs run towards the corner kick taker. Fine Müller. Frank de Jong. Messi. Back to the young Dutchman. My ex-line, as I was saying earlier, that really thrilled us last season. Semedo to his goalkeeper. Barcelona look every inch a team that has won 22 of its previous 23 matches, 18 in a row. And the German side, 7 matches now sort of in there, 35 minutes away from a 19th win. They're on the attack again, Goretzka. Lewandowski, Müller was in space, the cross was aimed towards Perisic though, and floated on away.
The wrong option, wasn't it? He's free on the edge of the box, screaming for the ball, just needs to be rolled back to him. But you know, that again, Goretzka making the run, creating the pass, the engine room of this Bayern side. So much of his work gets overlooked.
Griezmann. Busquets, another of the old guard, now 31. Better here for Barcelona. Jordi Alba, another 31-year-old. Suarez arriving, brilliantly done, superbly done. Great goal, Barcelona 2, Bayern Munich 4, in a wonderful quarter-final.
Wonderful bit of skill, wonderful play from Suarez, and it's a long ball. We talked about the first half, and ball from deep, play it over the top, play it early. This Bayern line is so high, but it's a great touch, looks up, finds Suarez, and here's the skill. Finally looking for him to shoot on his stronger right foot. He knows that their pro-attack thinking that clever little turn inside and strong finish with his left foot. And it's maybe anything back into the game.
Well, it's his 5th goal in 7 European games now this season. He's scored 3 in his previous 22. He found scoring in European competition very, very difficult until this campaign. Scored against Napoli in the home victory last weekend. And And Barcelona is the second highest scorer and moves to within 2 of 200 for the club. It has been such an open game. You have a go, we'll have a go. Perisic to Kimmich. Now, Thiago. Müller has been excellent. And Dion can't stay with him. Comes Jordi Alba to nudge it away.
VR's been just at the start of the second half. What can they do different? And Ter Stegen has actually played a couple of balls forward and they've not come off. But at least they're playing the ball forward. They're looking early because that's where the space is. And it's the obvious thing in football. Find the space, play the ball into the space, get the runners there. And you know, it asks a different question of this Bayern side.
The 23rd Champions League campaign. Only Barca, Real Madrid, repeated it. Champions of Germany for a record 30th time and now our 8th successive Bundesliga title. Emerging as the strong favourites for this competition, Manchester City. Fans will say otherwise. Make it clear for the challenge on Kimmich. Manchester City, though, throughout the campaign, they've had a flawed defence, and it's difficult to see any flaws in this team. It's another yellow.
Yeah, you have to say this Bayern side are the most balanced and well-organised team. And, you know, as a coach, you can send the team out, you can get them as well drilled as you like, but if you've got a strong player in every position, you're going to be a force. You're going to be a force at whatever competitive level. And they've got players at the top of their game all over the pitch. The referees love that. If you throw the ball away, they're desperate to give you a good kick.
Another great record against Spanish sides, actually. Victory in 6 games against teams from La Liga. A very good record in Lisbon. Ball to up here. Perisic with the drive. It's set up a little bit too high, a little bit of a lead off the ball. It's only going to go one more to approach the out. They're 4-2 up.
Yeah, I was praising Napoli for his strike, waiting for the ball to drop. Perisic did do the same there. It's got underneath it, hammered it high. Again, is Barcelona playing out from the back. They've had success playing it long. Play it long.
Stayed down.
Got that wrong, the referee's a good tackle. You're looking at it saying, well, you know, you can understand the frustrations of Magic because I think he's been booked with one of the coaches at least, and the frustrations there certainly.
It's going to be a change. Mr. Bowen's going to come on. I'm sure there was nothing was anti-fitness from his coaching staff down there. You got the yellow card. Cards brought in this season to stop descent from the dugouts. Not too sure whether that's happened. Something wrong there. The yellow card. The coaching staff down the yellow. As well. Things are getting very hot under the clock. Semedo is down. The referee's given the free kick far up the pitch. It's cheered by Goretzka and the people.
That was a foul there, and that was a foul there as well. So you can see why Barcelona feel a little bit hard done by this very similar situation, and one give, one not. It's a frustration for a player when it's inconsistent like that.
Again, next goal in the game. This waiting goal. It's only get a third, then game on. This is the way that they cheer about. It's a skipping run by Alphonso Davies. Good run by the £60 million rated fullback. Dropped his shoulder, went away. See you later. Brilliant run by Davies. Sensational! 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 Bayern Munich have a fifth goal. Absolutely superb run by the fullback. Kimmich, the other fullback up. Watch it up.
Well, if there's anything that can sum this Bayern team up, it's this goal.
A player, top player at the top of his game. Look at the skill, the confidence, just to look, I'm going to go this way, I'm going to go that way, goodbye, I've got. And then the coolness, the calmness, to find the other fullback for the simplest of finishes. We said at the start of the game, the combinations, they can score from any angle. And here it is. One fullback on the byline, cutting it back to the other fullback 4 yards out. Surely that's game over. That's a sensational goal. It really is. Not just the run of Davis, but the way that Kimmich made a striker's run into the box, bent his run, got into the edge of the 6-yard area, and finished. He's left his man De Jong for dead day and Kimmich with the run. Fullback to fullback, 5-2. He's got 7 goals this season. Joshua Kimmich. 10 goals from the fullback positions. Can score from anywhere.
This is the beauty of this Bayern side, and it's what they look for in Germany. I'm saying in the first half, they identify players that are wingers and then recreate them as fullbacks. And what they do have is such an ability to go forward.
And Barca come back into it again. We thought we'd have goals. 7. His team only has 2. That's not the end for Messi, far from it, but 33 is perhaps the start of the beginning of the end. As he lifts the cross away, he can't keep doing it single-handed for Barcelona. When Griezmann scored away at Napoli, it was the first away knockout Champions League goal scored by anyone but Messi since 2015. That's how high they rely on him.
Doing one thing against Napoli when you're having a lot of the ball, and this Barcelona do get a lot of the ball, and it's a matter of time till he gets it in the right areas. But when you're against a team like this in the shape of Bayern Munich, it's going to be such a difficult, different opposition.
Mercy again went for a pullback ball. Look at the press. Look at the press from Bayern. They put it back again. Kimmich. Little deep ball in, plucked away by Ter Stegen, but it was a horrible moment, almost for Barcelona once again. Now they look back Suarez over the top, and Manuel Neuer does his sweep and keep a bit. Turns defence into attack. Lewandowski.
I think that's the difference between the two teams there. But Bayern know they can press. They know that ball over the top is going to get swept up by Neuer. They just know all over the pitch that they can be so aggressive and so high up the pitch.
Griezmann now. Suarez is in the middle. Vidal, who's been a passenger most of the game on that far side. Busquets. Shadow of his former self tonight. Messi. Griezmann. Cross corner goes away by Goretzka, who's been outstanding for Bayern. Frankie de Jong, one of the Spanolas for a project. Davis. Really felt that.
Taking one for the team there, hasn't he? He's great defending, gets his head on the ball, sacrifices himself. Don't think he realises that Semedo's there. Eyes on the ball, both players, just a clash of heads. Well, those happen in football, they're horrible for you as a player, but not as long as there's not any damage, any lasting damage, then you've got to pick yourself up and move on.
Substitution coming up for Bayern Munich. Perisic is going to go off. Kingsley Coman is going to come off. 24-year-old whose last appearance came in the Pokal, the German Cup final. And the beat by Leverkusen 4-2. He was unfit last week. Couldn't play in the game against Chelsea. A very interesting comment to me before he went on air. Let's talk about that in a moment, Rob. Look at this one.
It's brilliant. It's a wonderful bit of skill, and talk about the pace and the power. You know, the ability to get round someone to the byline, the skill and the confidence that's involved in such a young man. And, you know, they sense danger. As Kimmich, he knew that as soon as he got past him, he knew where the ball was going to be. But once you get to that byline, it's so difficult to defend against the team. They can pick their parts, even if he did that so well.
You were saying to me beforehand that they treated that game against Chelsea last week as a dry run, rehearsal of what they were going to do tonight.
Yeah, well, in one practice match, there's a bit of a gap at the end of the Bundesliga season, and one practice game after that. And then, because they were so far ahead of the game, they turned around and said, oh, we're up against Barcelona.
Here's Müller. Müller lays it back. First shot for Coleman, and it's deflected. Up and over by Jordi Alba, otherwise it would have hit.
How many times are we going to say that Barcelona are playing themselves into trouble? And Kingsley Coman on the pitch, I can't believe his luck there. It's a wonderful lunging tackle, but going back to the point about the Chelsea game, they knew that they needed to get up to speed. They went about it in such a way that they said, tell you what, we're going to play Perisic. He's a bit more of a conservative option than Kingsley Coman, but boy, did he put in a performance.
Kimmich from the corner kick. The Coleman was denied by Alba. Now Müller. Dangerous cross back into the middle. Well defended by Longley, but it's looked over the top again, looking for Lewandowski. And the shot is blocked by Ter Stegen. Rifled effort it was by Gnabry, I think. Now Messi, the ball is on there, and it's brilliantly played out wide. And look at the pace of Coman to get back and deny Vidal. Pace for pace, there's only going to be one winger, mind you.
The game's so stretched and so open now, Jonathan, isn't it? You look at these Bayern players. They know they've got to get back. They talked about it in the first half with Müller. There is Kingsley Coman fresh on the pitch. You know, it's hard to get up to speed as an outfield player, but there he's sprinting back, even at 5-2 up. They know they've still got a job to do.
Difference between the two teams there, Mark, because when Barcelona got in peril, players have been jogging back, not sprinting back. Have a look at the three there outside the penalty area. They weren't moving swiftly enough, it's come to nothing. That has happened time and time again.
Just about gets a punch on it, punches it down into the ground. What you want to be is recovered, you want to be set, makes a save, but you're looking at it now, 20 minutes ago, it's too little too late from Ter Stegen.
Busquets goes off, the British youngster, Ansu Fati, comes off, the youngest goal scorer in Champions League history, and he netted against Inter away at 17 years and 40 days earlier on this year.
That's another attacking option, isn't it? They've pretty much got all their attacking options on the pitch now, but you know, the game's only going one way, the attacking's only from one team. Again, they're going to be in such trouble. They're going to be so exposed against the Bayern Munich team. It's been so clinical.
Gave that one away though. Please have a look, play on. Alba is there. Vidal. Now Semedo. He's gone away to the right hand side, Vidal. Good to see. And Ansu Fati, the 17-year-old from Guinea-Bissau, who's Spanish under-21 international for Seville when he was 6. Interesting story actually. His dad, who was a player himself, when they moved to Spain, he moved to a place called Maraneleda, which was a self-declared communist utopia. He ended up begging for food. He met the mayor. His life was changed. He became a driver. He was able to support this young boy playing on the streets of a nearby town called Herrera. He played for Barcelona in the Champions League quarter-final. They need a miracle from him. This little man, again and again, they need miracles. He's got a free kick here. It's really muttering about politics at Barcelona this year, Messi. It's about right.
He's had precious little of the ball this second half, hasn't he? He's saying you get your best players with the ball in the right areas. Got one shot away off this half, but it got blocked. But again, it's Messi, with 20 minutes to go, less than 20 minutes to go, you need him higher up the pitch. You need him getting the ball towards the Bayern Munich goal. He's just not happening.
Alba. Kingsley Coman. Just watch it. Through in a yellow. Serious touch by Griezmann, who's cameo off the bench. He took twice this season. Right there.
You look at the reaction there of Suarez, ran 30-40 yards to close down Neuer, and was pointing to Griezmann to say, close down the man, that's where the pass is going. He doesn't do it. He's standing there watching the reaction of Suarez. He just throws his arms up in the air in frustration. He's doing it on his own.
Kimmich again. 4 on 5. Shouldn't score. Might score. Lewandowski nearly scored. He's hungry for his goal today. Xhaka. A little look out wide to the right hand side. To play in towards Müller. French de Jong finds Griezmann now. 16 minutes to go. Well, it certainly would be an end of an era of sorts as Hansi Flick looks to bring on the Philip Coutinho. No German, no Spanish side in the last 4. Almost unthinkable. Sula, the defender who's been wretchedly troubled by injuries, is going to come on forward as well as Coutinho.
Well, you look at the substitutions that Bayern have made, and they're the same substitutions that I'm assuming for Boateng that were made against Chelsea. So resting the players that need to be rested, they think this game's won.
They think that they have got to place against Manchester City or Lyon in the semi-final back here. Coutinho came on for Perisic against Chelsea, didn't he? About 20 minutes ago, 25 minutes ago, something like that.
He's done his job for the night, Napoli. That's one of the players you want playing in the semi-finals. Been a star performer, a bit of Coutinho. You talk about players not having a bad look at the value of the players that are coming on that are with Bayern Munich to work, and you've got players like him on the bench. You've got a strong squad.
Boateng came into this game with a slight knock. He's replaced by Sula. Coutinho on loan from Barcelona, playing for his future, some say. A lot of money should they want to make the deal permanent. There's certainly some question about that. He's valued at 90 million. One to get that for him, I would think. Bayern Munich 5-2 up, look for a six. Müller has been sensational. Coman, Lewandowski waiting for a snip of a chance. Here's Kimmich, Coman breaking free. He comes across, put it away by to Stegen. Why couldn't he hold it? Why couldn't he hold it? Did he just want to get things on the counter so very quickly?
I think his brain's fuddled, isn't it? He's conceded 5. He's been at 6s and 7s all night. It was from a throw-in, that chance. It's just from a simple throw-in, and you're looking at it, you say, there's just one ball now. It's just one ball that takes to get through it at this Barcelona defence.
We've seen the winners of the competition here.
Well, I was just thinking there, you'd be Pep Guardiola watching this, and no disrespect to Leon, but they're the favourites to go through, and you're thinking, what can I do? What can I change in this Manchester City team? Because I think if they go toe-to-toe with this Bayern team, there's only going to be one winner. So you're looking at it and you're saying, they're the 4th team of Europe, the 4th striker of Europe, they're the most balanced team. It's going to be hard to bet against them.
5-2, Bayern's lead. Messi trying to reduce the arrears. Safe hands by Neuer. Statement performance by him.
That's precious little we've seen of him over in this sort of area. Creates that yard of space. He's got 2 players. Does well to get a shot between Sula's legs. They're difficult to keep, but just didn't have the pace on it. Neuer down, comfortable. There was question marks about Neuer or to Stegen. Who's going to be the German number 1 soon? I think after a game like this, I think he's fairly comfortable in the knowledge that he will be.
Here's the youngster to answer. Round the corner. Little nudge on Messi. Or a little look towards the referee. Nothing was coming his way. Pick it up again. Outstanding performance. He's won a free kick here against an argumentative Vidal. Seven's got a foul. The referee from Slovenia. It's only the second time Barca conceded 5 goals in a UEFA competitive game. He scored there through Messi. The first time they conceded 5 since they lost 5-4 Levski Sofia in the 75-76 UEFA Cup quarterfinals. They won that game on aggregate. We're back at this time. Continue trying to create some mayhem against his parent club. Strange that you can play against your parent club in this competition, Rob.
Yeah, we were speaking about it before the game, weren't we? Just saying, it's a very odd decision. It's a very odd decision by Barcelona. You'd have it in there as a term of the contract.
Cross whipped in. Suarez back defending. Reguilón. Long leg. Look at the press. A 5-2 up with 12 minutes to go. And towards the youngster again, Ansu Fati. Flag raised against him.
This is it. We talked about it before. The high press and the high back line at Bayern. And you've got to have such good timing with the runs. And it's a long ball forward. It's a good ball forward by Ansu Fati. Just a little bit too keen. Gets offside. Again, the wave after wave of this Bayern pressure. It's coming again.
He's 17. Time to learn. Ansu Fati has played 32 games in this breakthrough season. Another 9 in the European Youth League. He scored 4 goals in that competition this season. Continue. This player's played well. Thiago.
It just drops, doesn't he, in between the two centre halves and dictates play. Just always available, always wanting the ball, really makes it tick.
Nice to be 50 in terms of possession.
It's just look far more dynamic, far more aggressive on the ball, and the options they have when they go forward. It's just incredible. I mean, Bayern again, Barcelona's giving it away.
10 minutes to go. Thiago caresses the pass to Davis. Griezmann didn't want to know really defensively. Coutinho. Müller. Kimmich has come up wide to the right hand side to receive. Süle faces out to him. Nicholas Süle, the German international. Will be hit by a cruciate knee ligament injury. Came back against Chelsea at the weekend. It's his first 20-minute run out since October. Been totally dominant tonight. This has been sensational. Edged out by a nervy-looking Piqué. Bowman. Kimmich is backing him up. Lewandowski waits in the middle. Penalty box predator. Continue. Little dip of the shoulders. He's wanted to do a wee bit too much. He's got support across there. Coutinho again, Müller. Coutinho. Lewandowski! He has his goal! Bayern is sick against Barcelona! And Lewandowski, a 50th goal for Bayern Munich in Champions League football, and a 54 in what has been an absolutely stunning season for an outstanding side. Barcelona have been put to the sword in this Champions League quarter-final.
You look at it, it might be a touch offside, there's an argument about it. May decide this, but it's the difference between the two teams here. Coutinho all the time in the world to pick out his man. He's got Barcelona players around him to pick out, and no one presses him down. Alaba, the centre half, 5-2 up with 8 minutes to go, is making overlapping runs. There's the difference between the two teams. That sums it up.
Well, it goes to VAR. It will be a very, very close decision. Massimiliano Verratti of Italy is checking on the goal. He thinks he stayed onside. He doesn't know what to think.
Lewandowski's eyeing up records, isn't he? He's eyeing up records for the season, Champions League goals, but they're just talking ahead. It's the one thing that's been missing, hasn't it? And he did get it all right, but it was so easy. 4
Busquets and the Barcelona veterans been utterly crumpled. Another substitute for Tolisso. He's going to come off, and Leon Goretzka is going to go off. Still waiting, taking too long. It's also departs. Check is over. Not sure what the decision is. Hernandez is also on. It's Hernandez. And the goal is given. Not running to. My first reaction is he was level and just onside. What do you think?
You were better against him, would you? A man in his form. And he had so much space and so much time, there was no need to be offside. So, level, yeah, it was tight. That's the difference. But you're talking about the defeat here. It's the manner of the defeat, isn't it? You can get knocked out against a great Bayern side, but 6 goals, and it could have been more. It could have been more.
Well, I remember the wonderful Bayern side of the 70s. You took like Gerd Müller, Sepp Maier, who you remember, Rob, goalkeeper, and that was a wonderful, wonderful brightener and the like. And you know, there's been the teams of Rummenigge as well. But I think we're seeing one of the greatest ever Bayern Munich sides developing here now.
Yeah, you look at it and you say, it comes in cycles and teams have their spells, but they've just dismantled this.
They're looking for a second. Müller, Coutinho, thought about a shot, he's brought it in! Barcelona 2! Bayern Munich! Shivered! They don't know where to look! Surely it's the end for this Barcelona side as a unit, but for Bayern Munich, the future looks bright. The future looks like a European domination this season anyway.
They've just shot to bits, aren't they? Barcelona, you look at it now and it's 4 or 5 options and a man on the ball has of Bayern. It's a poor touch, you can see him 8-9 yards out, a poor touch, and he still gets his shots away. That's how strong out this Barcelona side. You look at these guys now, they just look like they're enjoying the football. This guy looks like this could be his last moments as a manager of Barcelona, because there's no one who's going to survive this. There's going to be changes across the board.
Well, I have many, many friends who live in the Barcelona area, and it's a stricken city right now due to the spike in the COVID cases, and they needed a pick-me-up, they needed a lift from their team's performance. Barcelona is a team that epitomises, personifies Catalonia and the spirit, but it's an absolutely destroyed football team tonight.
I think, Jonathan, as a professional, as a team, you can accept coming up against better sides. I've done it many times in my career, but what you do is you cling on in there for grim death. You stick together as a side. You stay tight. You turn around and say, we're not going to be humiliated. And that's what we can take from the game. They've been humiliated tonight.
They conceded 5 tonight for the first time in a Champions League tie, then 6, and now 7. World class, Bayern Munich. Nelson Semedo. Vidal. Messi. Well, it's a sorry sight to see Lionel Messi on the end of this sort of drubbing, but this Bayern Munich side has been compelling. Coleman. Coutinho almost looked embarrassed to score that sort of a goal against his parent team, and has deflected away perilously close off PK to an 8.
It's reminiscent of the great German side dismantling Brazil in the World Cup in Brazil. It's one of those sort of performances that just epitomises a team at the top of their game. Yeah, we talked about fractured Barcelona side, and it's just looked like one of those sides that, got brilliant individuals, they've got brilliant players in there, but when things started to go against them, they did not stick together. They did not dig in.
So many things have come back to haunt them tonight. They let Thiago go a long time ago. He was outstanding against them. He was replaced by Coutinho, who they let go. Aaron Loder Bayern Munich, and he scores against them, and he's on the edge of the box again and could be in here, and it is towards Coutinho! It's it! He has really run shot into the work. Doesn't want to celebrate against his favourite club, but this is a night to celebrate for Bayern Munich fans around the world, and for football fans of any club, because this is one of the great European performances. Even though Barcelona have been shambolic, the side of Hansi Flick has been absolutely outstanding.
Everyone's embarrassed now. I think across the whole of the pitch, the celebrations. Look at the line. You've got Semedo 5 yards behind everybody else now. Gone. The communication's gone. It's a free header. He's allowed all the time and space in the 6-yard box. The Barcelona own 6-yard box. You look at the reaction of the players. And look, you sit on the bench, you helpless, you feel the pain, but again, Coutinho embarrassed, Barcelona embarrassed. It's been a shambolic second half performance.
3 goals in a cruel 7 minutes last. Leaves Barcelona with their worst ever defeat in European football. 8-2 now to Bayern Munich. It's the worst night ever for Barcelona on the continental stage. A stage they have faced so many times. 5 title triumphs in this competition. But let's ring out the old guard and, well, not ring in the new, because Bayern Munich are legends in their own right. But they are certainly now emerging as favourites to win this competition. Manchester City and Lyon will be very, very well.
If you were asked before the game, who do you think will win? I was fairly confident in saying it would be a Bayern victory. I wasn't going to predict a 10-goal thriller, 8 of which in 1 goal.
Can Messi get some sort of consolation? Not like that. All they want to do is get away from Lisbon and back over the border into crisis-hit Spain, with a football crisis now looming for this proud club. Suarez, hasn't he worked tonight? Hasn't he put in a shift?
I mean, the frustration for him, it showed evident before, waving and gesturing at Griezmann, get out with me, press. But they've gone. They've gone. You can't press on your own. You can't do the job of 11 men on your own. It's too hard for it. It's too hard for Romero.
We're into stoppage time. There's just over a minute left to suffer for Barcelona. Last time Bayern knocked them out of this competition was in 2013. They won 7-0 on aggregate. They scored more than that in one single night. Vidal has lost his head. Lost his head completely.
I talked before about throwing the ball away. The referees, they love to go a book in Vidal has gone. At least he's showing a bit of passion, showing a bit of emotion. He's showing something, because so many of these Barcelona players have shown so little.
Your overall thoughts, Rob, as we come now towards the last 20 seconds of stoppage time, end of an era? Are we watching the new champions of Europe, champions elect here?
I think you're looking at both. I think you're looking at a Barcelona team that the inquest will begin. I think you look at this now, it's got to be firm favourites by it.
An astonishing night for Hans Flick's Bayern Munich side. They have absolutely slaughtered Barcelona by 8 goals to 0. The worst night in the history of this Catalan club in Europe. And one of Bayern Munich's greatest. 2 for Müller, Perisic, Gnabry, Kimmich, Lewandowski to 50 for the club. And a rub salt in the wounds. 2 for Coutinho off the bench against his parent club. The Alaba own goal and Luis Suarez sparkling strike mean nothing. Barcelona here. Big questions as the post-mortem starts. But for Bayern Munich, the future of this competition simply goes on and on. What a night for them. Barcelona 2, Bayern Munich 8.